Alrighty, y'all. We made it to week 7. So week 6 was recovering a sense of abundance, and week 7 is about let's see, recovering a sense of connection. And it was like such a short chapter. I listened to it on Spotify, and it was um excuse me, it was super short, but um in this week, in week 7, we go over things like jealousy. Um, Hi Meadow. And what else do we go over? Risk. Perfectionism. That was a really good part of week 7 as well. But before we go into that, let's recap week 6. I'm actually really excited to talk to y'all because I've just been processing a lot, and I'm just like, oh, I'm so excited to talk to my friends. Like normally I'm kind of just like, oh no, I have to show up. But there's so much to talk about, so I was really looking forward to talk to y'all. So thank y'all all for being here and making it this far too. Um, but yeah, recovering a sense of abundance. This chapter reminds me of the book You're a Badass at Making Money. And I feel like week 6 is like um a whatchamacallit, a crash course on what You're a Badass at Making Money is about, which is about how God is universal source. So whatever you want, consult with God and God will do the things to make it happen. Um, so yeah, she goes over this briefly, um, and just reminds us that God likes art. So as you move to as you move closer to what it is that you are, the gifts that you've been given to share, you'll begin to see like benevolent things unfolding for you. Week 6 was also an opportunity to define luxury for you and basically to find luxury in the little things. In this chapter, she talks about a woman who likes raspberries, and that really prompted me to also be like, yeah, I'm gonna spend my money on raspberries because I do like raspberries rather than being like, oh, they're like $5 a box and stuff like that. Like, um, it's just so much better when you spend money on the things that you really, really want. And um, raspberries in my case, and as in the example in the book, are um a beautiful luxury. Um, yeah, it's okay, Meadow. I was just saying, hey, so good to see you again. So yeah, one of the tasks was to find like a special rock, and or find a few rocks, and yeah, I feel like I feel like we be doing that in our own ways. Nothing extraordinary, but um that week I did practice buying myself some flowers. I bought myself some peonies. I did give away some clothing. And one thing I didn't do, I didn't bake anything. And we briefly practiced listing our favorites. Hey, Ariel. And I also put in our Google Classroom different assignments for each of us that are specific to what our creative and artist goals are. So like Kyra had the assignment to list her top 10 favorite DJs and favorite songs. I know for Ariel, I put top 10 music artists. And then for Lucy, I put top 10 clothing brands and clothing designers. So, if anybody wants to refine more of like what creative project they're specifically using this book club to work on, um, we can always change that. But week 5, week 6, I was like, okay, we're getting so close to like we're basically at the halfway mark, and I'm just like feeling ready to lock in. And one thing that I am trying to avoid, I got you, Lucy. One thing that I'm trying to avoid is using using activities like these, because it's fun to talk about, what we like and stuff like that. I feel like we can go on and name our favorite cars, our favorite flowers and stuff like that. But also sometimes, so basically what I'm wanting to move further away from is allowing these things to be, I don't want to say a distraction, but uh allowing these things to like put us further away from like what it is that we're trying to get to. Because I was watching a video on YouTube yesterday about procrastination and why we procrastinate. And for example, she named one of the things like, you're supposed to start a business, but instead of starting the business, you keep reading books about how to start a business. Now you're 10 books in on how to start a business, and now like 3 years have gone by and you haven't started a business because you keep reading books about how to start the business. And I was like, I just don't want that to be us. And so I was like, let me like do some things that are like solely related to what it is that we are manifesting. So yeah, and I'm gonna mute for Lucy.
Hey, I was gonna say, so I did like the homework that you set, but I kind of changed it, and I hope that's okay. Because, yeah, I think you set mine as like 10 fashion brands or like designers that I like. And the thing is, so what actually got me into sewing is that I only really like one brand, and I just like want to make clothes of that for myself because, like, I'm more into like alternative clothing. So I ended up writing down like 10 pieces, like 10 kind of like styles of clothes that I really like and that I really want to make. So like, cause like I really want to perfect like the box shirt. I really love box shirts. So I kind of just wrote like 10 pieces of clothing that I like really like. And that's kind of like my motivation and like goals of like, I want to perfect, hopefully one day, like each piece. Because like that's like all of my wardrobe right now is like basically this one brand. And um they're so expensive. Like they're so expensive. And the thing is with like all clothing, like alternative like clothing, you either like have to pay a lot um if you want something that isn't like made in China, and also there's also like overpriced and made in China as well. Like there is not really like much like in between. At least that I've found that's like affordable and like good quality. Um so yeah, I like I just want to say like I hope it's okay that I tweaked my homework that's just like a little bit a little bit more suited. And I did also like I've been realizing too I think with some of the tasks sometimes I'm noticing like it's like, oh, name like list your favorite cars, list your favorite dogs, list your favorite flowers, list your favorite trees. Like I can see where like, oh, that's like really helpful for someone who like isn't creative at all. Like, I'm like, oh, that's like an exercise for somebody who like doesn't even know themselves. And I can like look at that. I'm like, okay, well, that's a waste of time for me because I know, like, I know what dogs I like. I know what trees I like. I know what flowers I like. Um, and it's like maybe I do that every now and again when I have like more time or it's like necessary for me to like get back in touch with certain things. But yeah, like I'm trying to keep that in mind as I read the book that some of these tasks are for people who may have never like allowed themselves like any creativity and like for some of it, it's like I'm pretty in touch with my creativity. So it's like I'm not seeing it as like I don't think I need those ones. So I just wanted to say that because of like the when you're saying it's like you don't want to end up wasting your time. Like yeah, I'm seeing like some of these tasks can be really maybe important for somebody who's like totally out of touch with like who they are as a person and totally out of touch with like what they even like. And you know I know for me like that's not me, so I found it maybe a little bit of a waste of time, but I can like respect it for what it is. Yeah. Okay, I'm gonna mute.
Yeah, my that's exactly what I'm trying to say. It's exactly that. Like there were points where I noticed that too, and I was like, we gotta start getting a little bit more specific to us, like on what we're trying to push through. So, so glad that you resonate with that. Um, Kyra says, I say deepening the questions as to why you like the things helps one to understand themselves processing a little bit better. Yes, I agree.
Yes. Oh,
Yeah,
I can't find the raise my hand button sometimes, so I just
it's all good. It flows. It
yeah,
flows.
but I just think because it's like it's kind of in a way like I definitely hear what you're saying because it can feel a little like, oh, what's your favorite color? Feels so juvenile and like childish or like, but I feel like it does help penetrate something. But like, yes, for somebody who's kind of like clear on that, I do feel like, okay, just pick the most like the one that stands out that's really getting down to something. But I do think like just knowing why you like the thing helps you to create more from that place. It's like, oh, the reason why, like for instance, those perfumes, like I keep gravitating towards this a similar type of perfume. The reason why I'm gravitating towards it is because I like this type of note or smell or whatever. And then I could take it a step further if I have the time or care to even do it. And it's like, why? What does it make me feel like? What does it bring? It is like it
Mhm.
helps. Like I just think it does help. There is a purpose for it. However, once you've done it, it's you don't really need to keep doing it because it does get a
Mhm.
little redundant.
Mhm. Mhm.
And a little like, okay, but some people do need those questions. Just like some people, you know how we've talked before, Tiana, about people really needing to hear the gospel in such an intense manner that's like you need it like that. Like they're fresh off of, some hard
Mhm.
shit. They need it. Like they need you to drill it. They need to know. Like some people, I don't think that this is what people need to hear, but some people might need to get the concept of hell to shake them up, just so they can get on track with the concept of heaven and maybe
Mhm.
come in a more like ooh, you're gonna go to hell if you keep living like that. It might have to come. So
Mhm.
I think it's the same thing. It's like, oh, you need to sit down with yourself and figure out your favorite colors, your favorite trees, da 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 da. But I think it's like following the white rabbit too, because it's like, okay, maybe one day you're sitting with these, silly questions, and then you're like, okay, well red, you start noticing red more, or you start thinking of oak trees more. So you start seeing oak here. Like it'll be little stuff like that. It kind of activate those synchronicities, like your attention to the synchronicities so that you can go
Mhm.
towards it or like you can be magnetized towards it. And then in that way, they are useful too. So I don't know. I feel like there's a purpose. There's a method to the madness.
Mm-hmm. And then what you said about some people needing to hear hell, that there's a hell in order to get right. Like that's where I'm at in my creative recovery. I'm like, I am currently I'm currently in my anti-vision right now, and so I need that to like not scare me, but like motivate me into uh really leaning into my creative recovery. And then also what you're saying is uh basically what I was saying, I think week 4, week 5, and I had made a post about it in the classroom, the Google Classroom, about how really the artist way is really about soul retrieval. Because like because when we are figuring out what our favorite dog is, our favorite color and stuff like that, we are just really remembering pieces of ourselves, remembering pieces of who we are, like the whatchamacallit, the Egyptian mythology when Asar Osiris was chopped into like 14 pieces or whatever, and Aset searched all over the land because the pieces of his body were like scattered. And so that mythology basically is symbolism for remembering yourself, like remembering, like literally putting your members back together. And yeah, I feel like that is what soul retrieval is. And I feel like the artist way is it's not so much like a this is how you're gonna get 1,000 followers in 3 days. It's more of like a soul retrieval. I'm gonna mute for Ariel.
I'll put in my 2 cents about all of this, but um yeah, I think it's a little bit because I do see how like some of the questions feel like repetitive because it's like, okay, I feel like there's been kind of some like formulation of the question, what kind of classes would you take like many times? You know, it's like, and that's something that like I feel like Lucy was kind of saying, it's like, I kind of know that, like, I've been thinking about those questions for a while now, and I've tried different classes and been like, oh, drawing, I don't really know if that's like my thing, but I like music, like that stuff is, I've already explored a lot of that. And I don't feel like oh, if there's a class I really want to take, I'm not going to take. Like, oh, it's such a big deal to take, especially here. There's like so many classes in there. If you like have US currency at all, like it's very affordable. So, anyways, um, but one thing that, at least for me and my journey, I feel also like it's a journey of deeper embodiment. And it reminds me, I was just telling my other friend that like there's this intuitive feng shui person that I've followed, and I'm not really like convinced that I want to like set up any of my stuff in a feng shui manner or following the rules. But what has been really interesting is just that like how she explains kind of how everything is about like how things subtly make you feel that maybe I wouldn't have thought of. Like she's like, knives shouldn't be out that you can see them because it's gonna put you on edge and like, like there it's almost like aligning even more to the energetics and embodiment of like how do I curate my life in a way that really feels right for me and like even paying even more attention to like, oh yeah, when I'm walking, I do always like pink flowers. I didn't realize, just like even, and I think, I don't know, I feel like, I guess in like NEMS and stuff where a lot of us, and maybe people here relate to that too, where a lot of us are like tend to be oriented more towards other people. I found that it's really, I feel like a deeper self-discovery of just like orienting more to me and being like, what do I like, even if it's completely different than everybody, what everybody else likes, like what makes me feel good. And so I've been like I just feel like I've been in a deeper sense of like checking in my senses of like, how does this song make me feel? Like with the exercise you gave me, Tiana, I was like, oh, what is there? Like, are there similarities between the artists? What are the through lines? I know for me, it's for sure like I like people who write their own music. Like as far as lyrics, I realize I like a lot of people who are like also into they're kind of like poets, honestly, with like how they write music. Um, and like even like I love Florence and the Machine, and she says how like she like does it. She was saying that she does it in a way that most artists don't do, where she just writes the lyrics like separate without any music. And and so to me it like shows it's like a poet, and So it's interesting to like kind of keep going deeper and deeper into like what are the things that I always maybe like when I was growing up, I listened to a lot of rap, and I think, but I always liked people like Jay-Z. And I mean, I don't think I listened to J. Cole in high school because I don't think I had heard of him yet. But like people who they were also storytelling, you know, and it was like more like poetry, honestly, than like other top 40 music, you know. And it's like, oh, I always liked, you know, it's like deeper and deeper. So I've liked that those aspects and just like the orientation. But I always, I mean, that's where I'm like a big about rule breaking, Aquarius moon here. So like I also really relate that like if I don't feel like something's gonna be helpful, I'm not gonna do it. So I definitely haven't been like, oh, I'm gonna do all the exercises for all this stuff. I've just kind of like looked at them and been like, okay, which ones seem like they would be helpful for me now? You know, I don't really like to do force myself to do anything if I'm like, this is gonna be a waste of time, you know, and like you said, Tiana, I feel like I mean, I think that's a whole thing of the book is like, how do we take our time back and anything that feels like a waste of time, cut it out and like make more time for the stuff we actually want to prioritize, you know? So yeah.
Yes, thank y'all. Thank y'all so much. Like, thank y'all for understanding both ends because I feel like, yeah, like we're doing soul retrieval, we're doing embodiment, and that was another reason why I was like, oh my God, like I gotta do this book club because I feel like it's so aligned also with etheric gardening too, because like we're really like we just said, embodiment and soul retrieval. So yeah, I just feel like they work hand in hand. The artist and the healer, the artist and the intuitive. Um, I'm also so glad that we're recording this because so much gems have been dropped just now. So thank y'all so much. Um, and then speaking of not doing things that you don't like, I want to talk so badly about social media because this week I have been really making sure that I'm making content and you know, the algorithm would be listening to your phone conversations and stuff like that. And so now my algorithm is full of content creator coaches, you know, with their tips and tricks on what to do. And I before I opened Zoom today, I was like, wow, I'm so overwhelmed. I'm so overwhelmed. Like, um, we know that access to social media and the internet is one of our greatest forms of abundance because we're able to broadcast ourselves in a way that people had to fly out to LA or New York for, you know, just to get like a 10-second commercial and stuff like that. Like we can literally just pick up our phones and do that. So it's such a blessing to have it. Um, I was watching Kim Kardashian's masterclass on the app, the Masterclass app, and she was talking about how her platform before social media launched was keeping up with the Kardashians. But she said if she were like basically she's saying that our social media is our version of that. And so when I hear people who have mastered social media, when I hear them say these things, I really, really take it to heart. Gary Vee is one of them. He talks about how basically we need to use this tool now because who knows what it will be in the next few years. Like we're lucky that it's still free and stuff like that. So I take all of that stuff into consideration. Um, I don't want to let things pass me by due to perfectionism, like how she talked about in week 6. Or does she talk about that in week 7? Where's my book? I think she talks about that in week 6 or week 7. Anyway, she talks about perfectionism. So that's something that I struggle with. I think that's week 7. Yeah, it's week 7. So anyway, I've been So the algorithm has been feeding me content creator coaches being like, here's your content schedule. On Mondays, you're gonna post this, on Tuesdays, and you know how they always do the thing. Um and I found some good advice today. But then once I started looking at social media, once I started looking at my feed, and this was Instagram specifically, and you know, these social sites, they're all built differently and all feed on your attention differently. But when I was looking at Instagram specifically, I was so fatigued. And I'm gonna pull up my feed right now, so I can just give you an idea. The first thing I'm looking at right here, the end of the perfect influencer. The next one, never do this if you want long hair. The next one, POV, when your whole day is OG clients. It's like a hairdresser or something. Um, the next one is like this girl just walking away, like um the next one is like fitness content and stuff like that. And you're like, I feel like basically what I'm trying to say is that we're getting fed these things, but once it's time for you to post a thing, you start thinking about, okay, font, caption, what else? Hooks, the first
Music,
3 seconds of the
the
video.
music
What were
choice,
you saying?
the music choice.
The music choice, the lighting, um, and basically saying all that to say that everything is just so like everything is like an ad in a way. Like even if you are watching something that's educational, like the content that makes it on this page right here in order for you to be discovered or for other people to find you, it has been curated in a way that has been, I don't know, strategically, mathematically or whatever, uh curated in order for it to grab your attention like that. And so being on the opposite end of actually creating that content, like I'm just overwhelmed and I'm exhausted. And I'm also exhausted from being constantly fed content like that. And it had me thinking, okay, so what type of content do I like? What type of content do I like? And Miriam comes to mind. Miriam literally just props up her laptop, sits in front of it, and just talks for hours. Like that's fine to me because it doesn't feel like anything is like being sold to me or like anything is like being talked at me or like I don't feel like basically what I learned today is different terms for the type of content that is out there. So if I'm a yoga teacher and I want to teach people how to combine spirituality and yoga, I have to use language like, uh, here's 3 tips and tricks for your next 30-second glow up. Like I don't want to talk like that. I don't want to talk like that. And
Get
it's
flexible fast. Get flexible
yes.
in a week.
Get flexible in 60 seconds. Here are 6 moves that you need to get flexible by next Friday. Like, just like, I don't want to talk like that. So I'm going to mute for Lucy first.
Hey. Oh gosh. So like I've been in the social media game, like I've been successful on it, and then I've also had friends that like so like a bit of background is like so I used to be like a Twitch streamer for a really long time and like that paid my bills. Like I was popping. And I've always found that's um like for me it's like what kind of content, what kind of person do I want to be around and starting to like kind of trust that I'm somebody that other people want to be around because there are people who want that like oh 60 seconds fast like I'm hot now. And some people just want like a normal person, like just a normal regular person that's like, you know, doing whatever. I don't know if you follow Kaikaina, but like I feel like Kaikaina is a really nice example of like someone who's just a normal human that's like kind of starting a content creation journey. Um, and I think it's really nice to like give yourself lots of permission to like fuck around and figure it out. I think it's really cringy when people try and come on and be really polished right away. And I think that's like a lot of these like coaches and stuff, they're trying to like tell you how to be really polished. And it's like, yeah, but like you've not even found your own rhythm yet. You've not even found your own pace to it. You've not even found like what your style is. And like if you're into astrology, small tangent, if you're into astrology, like you can look at your Mercury sign to tell you more about your Mercury sign and your Venus to tell you like maybe a little bit more encouragement on like what you're good at getting at, like what kind of style, you know, just like looking at the things that are going to help you find and support your style. Because I think there's so much now. Yeah, there's so many people who, especially after COVID. So I did internet stuff before COVID. Um, and like there's been such a huge boom of so many people. It's like that you do your business that like people, you know, even if it's educational and cool, and even if they're chill, like they're gonna have a website and stuff like that. And most of the time, like that's completely fine. It's like finding what resonates with you. I think there's gonna be. I kind of predict there's going to be like an uptick and an upsurgence in like people wanting to be around real people because I think like the expectations that you know the 30-second like get hot. I don't know. I've never actually seen any. Like I don't get that on my feed. But you know, but there's also like the fucking family YouTubers too. Like like I've heard of shit like that and it's like like there's all kinds of weird shit where it's like superficial and really slimmed down and this is what you've got to do. And like a small tangent as well, like so I've been friends with like a lot of like successful like famous people online, and I had a really good friend who she's like huge like nerd for bugs and creatures and animals. And when she first started doing her, and she has Tourette's, and when she first started doing content, she's like really fucking funny because she's like just coming out with shit randomly. But she was like so endearing and funny and smart. And like I've watched her over the years now just slowly like become like a big to goth ego. And she kind of like, I'm not gonna say who it is, but they completely like kind of sold out. Like they kind of went down, and it was interesting because being in their inner circle, they would tell me things like, "Don't tell anyone that you've got a boyfriend. Like don't tell people that you have a partner. Don't um you know." And there's like a lot of really toxic, really a lot, yeah, there's a lot of toxic advice that people give about how to be a successful content creator. And just to be real, like I mean I burnt out, but that was my own boundaries and like stupid shit. Like but you can definitely make it as like a successful content creator, like being low effort and like I think it's like finding your source and finding your people. Like I do really feel like you find your people, and yeah, like giving yourself permission to like practice, even if it's like on an alt account or like a small account. Like just find your, I would almost say it's like finding your style first, finding what makes you feel comfortable, because most of it is like self work first. Like as you start posting content, like all your own shit's gonna come up so hot. I'm just going to speak for myself because I don't want to be another voice like giving an opinion in the source of things. So I'll like reel it in. For me, when I started, it was like the whole thing was just like highlighting all my own bullshit. And honestly, any other voice I tried to like pull in just like didn't help, and it complicated things sometimes. Like, you know, there's all these rules of like, oh, you should post X amount of week, you should go live X amount of week, and it's just like, none of that, like, you just end up resentful sometimes, like, and it's awkward, like, because you're it's I don't know, like it's like you're trying to be this thing when you're still in like you're becoming. And I feel like there's something really beautiful about that too, because if you're just kind of giving yourself a lot of room and permission to just become and do what's natural for you, you literally attract your people. There's no grabbing. I mean, like, I think all of us are in NEMs. Like, I think one of the things I really like about Mariam is like she doesn't need me. Like she doesn't need me. She will be doing her thing with or without me. She will because she's just doing what she likes and she's doing what resonates with her and she's doing it's like self-feeding, and I think that like if I was ever going to get back into content creation, which I do think one day like I will, I don't know what it's going to look like yet, but it would just be me feeding myself publicly, like somehow, like with something. Um, yeah, that's my 2 cents.
Thank you so much. Yeah, that's really good. I'll share what came in mind. I'm gonna mute for Meadow.
It's not your unmuted, Meadow.
You're muted.
I always do that with the hand raising feature. I feel like once I lower my hand, it's going to unmute me, and then it does not. I was just saying, if you wanted to respond to what Lucy just shared, like while things are fresh, that's totally fine. What I have to say will keep, or if you prefer to hear everything at once and then respond, that's also fine.
No, go ahead.
Um, yeah. Well, first of all, I was starting to type this in chat, so I'll just say it out loud. Apologies for putting in the chat, like, wait, is this person? It's just because it sounded very familiar to a creator I was familiar with, but definitely did not mean to like put you on the spot in a recorded session or anything like that. So I apologize if that was at all intrusive or an overstep. I responded out of eagerness and could have applied more thoughtfulness. And then, yeah, I want to just check for consent too on one other thing before continuing. Tiana, is it okay to like ask you something to sort of challenge one thing I heard in what you shared?
Yes, let's go. Yes.
Yeah, I mean, I think Lucy already covered a lot of it because I was just sitting here like wanting to put like a very enthusiastic +1 on basically everything that was just said. And yeah, like I don't want to go too deep into it on a recorded session myself yet. I'm coming from a place where I also have extensive experience in that world, and have stumbled into it feels like stumbling, but it actually happened from a lot of the kinds of things Lucy was talking about with just like feeding oneself or I think really like showing up in a non-expectant doing what's aligned for oneself kind of way, ended up resulting in my having a lot of opportunities and access at certain tiers of the content creator world, within a certain niche of it in particular platforms, that were very surprising to me, that were not anything I set out even ambitiously going after. And then I attained certain things that a lot of people go after with a great deal of ambition, and aren't able to reach. And part of the work that I ended up stumbling into was being hired to do contract work, working with other content creators. So I've done community management where I was hired internally by the platform to work with like programs for content creators, and that often involved a lot of like celebrity creators or coordinating with them on events. And I've also done a lot of mentorship in that sphere. So I'll give you that much context just to say, like, I promise I'm not just like pulling this out my butt, but it's coming from some lived experience. And from that perspective, I really want to like underline everything that Lucy said. The question I wanted to ask you though is when you described that, like, if I want to combine this type of content with this type of advice, then I have to create a short that starts with, do you want this? Or, like that uses the particular like template or format that's out there. And I was curious about that, and a bit suspicious of it. Like obviously you can tell I'm coming at it with some skepticism, yet, made me want to ask questions like, wait, who told you that? Like I know you said, you're seeing like that advice in your feed, but like um I guess I almost want to ask like who told you that your instinct for that being unappealing was wrong? Like, or, because yeah, I think your instinct is spot on, that feels formulaic. And if you have an idea for a way that you would go about something that isn't formulaic, I'm curious to know if you think that couldn't be successful in its own right.
Yes, thank you. I love that challenge. Speaking of community manager, I was looking at a job online the other day about it. So I would love to send it to you, and then I would love to have you look at it for me to see what's the best way to like make my resume for this position. It's a contractor job, just like you said. So that's a synchronicity right there. Um, but so the I can even show you the person who is putting out the content for, uh three hooks to blah 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 blah. And this is what she looks like. Yeah, this is what she looks like. And I'm giving you that visual to show you that um how do I say this? Like, of course, she is going to say something like that because I feel like she is what she's like the cookie cutter of what people are aspiring to be and what people are expecting to be. Like, she has like the typical influencer look. That's what I'm trying to say. She has the typical influencer look. And so I think her content is definitely driven towards people who are trying to have the typical influencer uh thing. And one thing that I one thing that I am measuring right now is how do I work with the limitations of these apps? Because I know that everybody's spent. Like everybody's energy is spent. Everybody's attention span is spent. But honestly, like talking to y'all about this stuff, that's why I was like, I'm so excited to talk to them about this because I just know that it's gonna be good. But honestly, talking to y'all like has definitely reminded me that um when I show up as myself, my people will come. So I thank y'all for reminding me of that. And as y'all were talking, I started thinking of all the ways that I want to show up. And that all the ways that I want to show up that don't have to do with trying to get somebody's attention in like 3 seconds. Because I feel like that's the most important thing. So thank y'all for that. And then what I was gonna say after Lucy spoke, that's pretty much what I was gonna say after Lucy spoke was, yeah, I'm like, you know what? I'm thinking of so many ways that I actually do want to show up rather than just showing up like the scripted way. Um, yeah, so I'm gonna mute for Lucy.
Yeah, sorry, I didn't want to interrupt, but yeah, like I think that cookie cutter thing is, yeah, when someone's like trying to sell like, oh, this is how you hook people, like I think of Nem's language of like you really don't want to be hooking anyone. Like that's not, I really do think that like your people will be able to like feel you and like feel your energy and like especially if you're teaching yoga or no matter what you end up doing. Like I worked in like video games for a bit and I felt like even when I wasn't doing spiritual content, like I touched people spiritually and like I feel like your soul's imprint kind of like carries through your voice, it carries through your actions, it carries through like everything that you do. And I think, and no one ever told me that though. Like I didn't get those reminders from the outside. Like I really had to kind of like figure that out myself. And I think it's something that's like I'm glad you're able to remember from this group as well. And like I hope, if you ever need that like reminder as well, like you're welcome to come like hit me up or like talk to me about like content creator stuff. Cause yeah, that shit I wish there was more voices like that around me. Cause yeah, like I think it's really important. And I think yeah, I kind of feel like there is this I don't know. I've kind of like I don't know if it's my own timing or like the collective timing, but I feel like there is kind of like a group of people, like a soul group that are kind of like bubbling up some kind of creative expression to like go out into the world. I feel like it's on the back of a lot of people's minds or it's like on their heart, and I feel like there's gonna be um kind of like new waves of almost like new souls coming, but maybe not, they're not a new soul themselves, but new soul, like newer souls like coming onto like social media platforms and expressing themselves. And there was something else, let me just try and remember really quick. Yeah, cookie cutter people, like if you really listen to like their formulas, like sometimes it's really weird, like when you look at what they have to do to try and keep people's energy interested in them, because like they're kind of like not.
It's like AI.
Yeah, they're like a step in between, and it's a shame. Like I don't know, I definitely no judgment to the people, like to those people, but it's like I know I get really turned off by like any kind of like hooking and like um grabbing and trying to like interest me in the fast, like yeah, like if it's an interesting topic, I'll be like I'm probably going to be interested like in it,
Right. I
you know.
hate when I'm scrolling on a video and they're like, one girl, she was like, your tongue is connected to your pelvic floor. Stay with me. I'm like, girl, I didn't leave.
Yeah, like
Because like,
yeah, like I'm interested in that. Like so, I'm
yeah,
not going
yeah.
anywhere. It's like yeah. But maybe that's me. I'm like very energetically sensitive. I'm like if anyone's like trying to grab like straight away, I'm like, "Oh no."
Yes, yes. You
um
know what? See, that's why I had to talk to y'all. That's why I had to talk to y'all because I'm like, I know y'all are gonna get it. And that's exactly that. Like I'm instantly turned off by anything that just feels
yeah.
like you said, hooky or
And
grabby,
and if
just
you have to
weird.
like go hooking and like grabbing people's attention, like I really liked what Ariel just said, like you're talking to matrix passed out people with zero attention span. Like you probably don't really want those people as like customers and
Yeah.
like audience members and be in
Yeah.
relationship with that anyway. Cause like, especially if you have like an intention around like community and like genuine relationships. That's why I say Mercury and Venus, for like you know, what your secret sauce might be around like um how you go about like social media, because like a lot of it's like relational, like like returning clients or like relationships, and like community like is huge. And you'll find that a lot of the times if people are kind of like hooking and doing like that, they like don't actually end up really getting nourished from
Right. Right.
the stuff. It's like they set things up in a way where they always have to be like the next big thing, post this day, post have a hot take on this next thing. It's like it kind of
Yeah.
sets you up to be like running at that pace.
Yeah, it's like a
Yeah.
hamster wheel. Oh
Yeah.
my gosh. Oh my gosh. Yes. Again, I'm so glad this is recorded because I gotta go back and watch that. It's so good. Thank you, Lucy. And I'm gonna mute for Meadow.
Okay, I remember to unmute this time. Small, I just remembered one other thing. And yeah, also, again, just Lucy, everything you just said is fire. Like, I'm just like, yes to so many things. Um, Sorry, I got excited about that and then I forgot what I was saying. Oh, I wanted to push back gently, with openness to where my own like filters or biases could be worth picking apart in this on what you said about we're lucky that we have access to this right now, like that it's still free for us to utilize. Um, Full acknowledgement that I have a very like I have a lot of like very like I can feel all the things lighting up in my energetic space right now and kind of that like heated energy coming in. So
Yes, put up a rose, put up
that's
a rose.
too because I have very and I'm putting up my own because I do have very like yeah just like strong opinions about this yet they come from a place of I love creators. Like I got into a lot of the things I was doing in the creator industry because I enjoy creators so much and I feel really deeply and passionately about how many really like innovative and creative folks are using the ecosystem that's currently available in social media to tell their stories. And I feel really strongly about things like when people feel called to be a creator, that a lot of the time, even if that person doesn't know it yet, or they're like drawn there for other reasons initially, it's because people have like a specific medicine to offer, a specific voice, a specific story that is needed in the collective. And so I get really, really excited about supporting that. And as someone who's rabbit holed into that a lot, something that I want to push back on is the idea that we are somehow being offered some kind of like privilege or opportunity by these capitalist, commercially driven, in bed with advertisers like corporate platforms, because there is a completely alternate paradigm that could exist if we're creating the new earth and imagining into it. And there are already a lot of people on the tech front who are imagining into it, even if they're sort of like on the fringes from our perspective, because social media could be totally distributed. And it could be something where we're not reliant on this like big central platform. And even things like the algorithm of a particular platform often gets framed as if it's like purely mathematical, purely scientific, but actually it's created by humans and they can be quite flawed. And so you get into situations where, for example, an algorithm learns to favor a bunch of like cishet white men being all the creators we see, most build on, for example, a gaming platform. So you just get Todd playing COD over and over again. And the algorithm will continue to favor that even past a point where that is what's actually like what's being sought after, or where like more marginalized voices are gaining traction, or there's like an audience being drawn to that platform that wants to see those people. So I just really want to push back on the idea that like we're lucky that this is free and we can access it. Like actually, we have a lot more power to do things in a way that is much more free and available than these platforms would like for us to realize, frankly. That's it. Now I'm done with my like soapbox about all things content creation for today.
No, that was good. Yeah, when you said distribute, that was like the key word because social media was put like when it first came out, it definitely wasn't like this. And now it is. I just want to put it plainly, it's like getting worser. Like how you said the algorithm and stuff like that. Like basically it has become like a capitalist it's definitely dry is going that way really hard and really fast, whereas it used to be just like a platform to just post pictures with you and your friends and stuff like that. So I'm totally hearing what you're saying, that there are hands in it that are driving it that way, and it doesn't have to be that way. And that is something that I'm also considering. Um, yeah, because just like the other day when Kyra was trying to post, we learned so many things about what is allowed, what is not allowed. It's just like, what? It's just like, It's just not like we're not used to this. And that's good to have that reminder that we don't have to get used to it being like that either. I'm gonna mute for Lucy.
Yeah, it's an interesting one because I actually like when you said we're lucky that we don't have to pay, like I definitely think it could go that way. Like I think YouTube could totally charge their creators to like put them on a subscription if you want to do this. Put you have to pay for a subscription. They could I I do kind of feel lucky that that's not happening yet. That's not happened yet because they like own such a like big piece of the pie because that's kind of like that's who you know where a lot of the attention is and it's like yeah, I guess like so I find like Twitch really interesting because Twitch is owned by Amazon now and Twitch like doesn't make a profit. So when people live stream on Twitch, it like costs quite a lot of money for somebody with zero viewers. Like say you're new to starting, if you're there's so many people who are on zero viewers, one viewer, two viewers, three viewers, streaming for like 8 hours at a time. And it costs Twitch more money. Like it costs Twitch money to have that broadcasted on their platform. Um, and they ended up like introducing like a few like there was this whole controversy of like they only do like a 50-50 split for people, so when you do finally earn money you only get like a 50 of it 50%. But basically what I'm trying to say is like yeah, like live streaming is a huge cost deficit to like whatever platform you're on. Usually the only way that they break even is so there's like two main like live streaming ones right now. I think there's Kick and there's Twitch. Kick makes it work because they do like sponsorships with like gambling companies. And then Twitch makes it work because the codecs that they use, they sell it to other websites. So Kick uses Twitch's services. Amazon streaming, like it's like Amazon streaming services, I think, is like their whole thing. But yeah, all this to say is like it's kind of cool that there are other smaller companies like trying to make new social medias. Um and I can see how it's like kind of hard for that to like break through into like the mainstream as well. And I do kind of consider myself lucky that these like larger mainstream platforms that I do still use like haven't started to fucking charge because they probably could. They probably could. They probably would. And people would pay. Like people would pay because their livelihoods are on they are dependent on these things and it's like a really interesting time because like it has brought like so much opportunity. um so yeah, it's just really interesting like hearing like yeah, like I agree that we're lucky and I also can see it's like it's like I can see what you were saying, Meadow, as well. And it's like yeah, it's just really funny because at the same time too, it's like, well, if you do make the thing that everyone's using, then like, yeah, you probably should make some money from it. It's just really interesting, like where it's at, you know. I'm ready for new social media open source. Yeah, yeah, it's so weird. I think it's like what place is everyone gonna like unify on that's different. I'd like the ones that are just already being the ones that are already there, like, can we just clean those ones up? Like, do we all have to move somewhere new? Like, can we agree of like where we're all gonna go instead? Because I think that's where like the movements to other places are where it gets like annoying and it's not great for business. I had some friends who were anyway, whatever. Twitch streamers who like moved to Kick and then like fucked their entire business because they thought that was a good move and it ended up backfiring. So it's just really interesting. Yeah. Okay, I'm gonna show up now.
Yeah. Yeah, we're all just learning. We're all just figuring it out as it's happening because it's all happening so fast. Like this wasn't present like 30 years ago, and that's so crazy. That's so crazy. And we're seeing, I know this is so juicy. This is so juicy, but like we're really seeing like we're having issues that like our parents and our ancestors didn't have. It's crazy. But I definitely need to look into what y'all are saying for real because this is definitely one of those both and things. Like we're lucky that they're not charging us, but it's also like fuck you for trying to charge us at the same time, which is crazy. And I feel like like we have reached the point where everything is like that right now. Everything is like everything's like what the fuck basically. Um, yeah, what you're saying right here, Meadow, I um definitely want to look into it. And yeah, I'm like you, Ariel. I definitely want to go back to like an open format type of platform. Um, yeah. Um, those corners of the internet that, excuse me, that are still stuck into the early 2000s, like I hang on to them for dear life. One of them that me and Kyra talk about a lot is the fragrance review website for Grantica. It's had a few updates and stuff like that, but as you go deeper into the website, it's still very old school. So they have like a forum, and then like when you private message somebody, it's so CSS, like it has like the old emojis and everything. Like it's delightful. It's really delightful. So um yeah, we're all just figuring it out as we go. So thank y'all for sharing all that. And definitely Meadow, I want you to also join the WhatsApp and the Google Classroom so you can post this information for all of us to look into as well. But thank y'all so much for the encouragement and the feedback and the reminder that all I need to focus on is um, being myself and my authenticity, and not the type of authenticity that they're saying is gonna get you more followers or whatever, because it's also a trend to be so authentic. Like, look at me, I don't have any makeup on, like that type of thing. Like performative authenticity is like on a all-time high right now. Kyra says, "Do you, boo?" Yes. So thank you to all the Aquarius placement folks up in here. Um, that was so good. Performative authenticity, yes. And I'm pretty sure that Rick Rubin has a chapter in here that I need to read, but I really haven't been we haven't been doing the creative act, y'all. That's okay. Um I have been listening to it. I've been listening to it lately, but it's kind of like background noise. I'm not even gonna lie to you. I feel like Rick Rubin is really gonna hit when I really start doing the thing. Like when I get into the studio, when I start recording songs, when I start practicing, it's gonna hit. Let's see. Ariel says Rick Rubin feels to me a great example of someone really successful that doesn't seem performative at all. Yes, I love him so much. I want to be a Rick Rubin. Like I want to be a Rick Rubin on my path. Yes, and put it in my calendar. Yeah, I did call up my producer friend. I did call up my producer friend, so I'm getting there. Okay, I'm gonna mute for Lucy.
This conversation just reminded me of an Instagram artist that I think you guys, take it or leave it, but I think you guys really might like. he does these really funny like cartoon character sketches of like the creative process and his like inner monologue of creativity. So there's one where it's like a guy on a guitar performing for like three people and it's like I'm a failure, I should have a bigger audience. And then when he finally has this really big audience, he's like, oh, I'm just a previous, like I used to be more authentic than this. And there's like different things about I don't know, like he's a really good artist and he's really good at like capturing like I guess like maybe it's like the inner sensor um at how the inner artist can be and like how we like trip ourselves up or like fuck ourselves over. And yeah, I think his art is really refreshing and really insightful. Um, there is this really funny, I'm just like, gonna post a couple links, where it's like, I don't know, it's like, oh, this is how people think I am, and it's like a certain way. And then he's like, I'm gonna try and be more me, but then there's like no difference between the two. I feel like he just captures it really, really well. And I think there's a few call outs in it too in his artwork. Are you screen sharing? Okay, cool. Um, yeah, I think some of his art is just really, really refreshing. He also has an oracle deck of his art as well, and absolutely love his work. He's so funny with his artistic call outs. Yeah, that's my share.
Okay, sorry, I didn't know how to unmute off of screen sharing. I really like this one right here. Uh, I'm a failure. I should have a bigger audience. Now you have a big ass audience, but you sold out on this one. Yeah, I totally get it. The opposite of depression is expression. Oh, hey, it does work sometimes. It just takes a minute. Yeah, okay, yeah, I'm gonna check this out. If you haven't wasted years of your life, have you ever really lived?
Like some of
Or
it's like kind of ironic, but I
yeah.
really like it. It really I don't know, I think adds like color and laughter to like that really serious voice that I know I get. Yeah, and like, there's like silly ones of just like oh, I want to be normal, and then it'll be some crazy guy like, well, what is normal anyway? It's just really cool. It's a really nice way to like break up, I think, that serious energy.
Mm,
Hmm.
this is me. This is me right now, weighing pros and
Yeah.
cons, but still ended up with my gut anyway. Yes. Post this in the WhatsApp or the Google Classroom. Thank you, Lucy. We're almost done. It's almost 8 o'clock. And in week 7, Julia talks about perfectionism, listening, and risk and jealousy. I'm somebody that doesn't really get jealous. If I get jealous, it's usually for like a quick second, but mostly what I feel when I see somebody or something that I want, it's a reminder, okay, this is available to me. So, and that fizzles out really quickly. Um, but oh, I did get jealous. I had some coworkers that were doing nothing the other day, and like they literally went to a restaurant. I feel like I said this already, but they literally went to a restaurant for like hours and hours and hours on the clock, and then they came back drunk and stuff like that. And I was so jealous. I was so jealous. I was like, I can't believe that they get to do that. They probably make the same amount of money as me or even more money than me, and they get to just do whatever they want. So I went to my desk, and I'm so glad that I keep some chakra cards there because I pulled actually two cards jumped out and two solar plexus cards jumped out. One of them was personal power, and then the other one was something about basically creating uh the right to choose or like creating your own life or whatever. And so those cards popped out and I knew those two things to be true, but I also knew that that jealousy does ride in the solar plexus. And yeah, so energetically that is something that I will be tracking. But yeah, basically my cards told me that I have the power to choose basically. So if I want a job where I can just do whatever I want, I can get that job. And like that starts with, applying for jobs. You can't say that you want a certain type of job and you're not even applying for jobs. So yeah, that was the last time I felt jealousy. And then the other thing that um week 7 talks about is perfectionism. And as a Virgo rising, I experience perfectionism so much so to the point that it procrastinates, that I procrastinate. And yes, let me read a few things of what it says. Perfectionism has nothing to do with getting it right. It has nothing to do with fixing things. It has nothing to do with standards. Perfectionism is a refusal to let yourself move ahead. It is a loop, an obsessive, debilitating closed system that causes you to get stuck in the details of what you are writing and painting or making to lose sight of the whole. So freaking true. Because one thing that I have found is that the more I put something off because of perfectionism, when it finally gets done, it just ends up being just something that's so easy and so simple. And it's like, why couldn't I just did that? Um, the perfectionist fixes one line of a poem over and over again until no lines are right. The perfectionist redraws the chin line on a portrait until the paper tears. The perfectionist has married the logic side of the brain. The critic reigns supreme in the perfectionist creative household. I feel like the artist that you provided, Lucy, is perfect to tackle this subject. The perfectionist has married the logic side of the brain. The critic reigns supreme in the perfectionist creative household. A brilliant descriptive prose passage is critiqued with a white glove reproach. Hmm, Hmm. What about this comma? Is this how you spell for the perfectionist? And so basically reading all that, I will say that a lot of my perfectionism comes from fear. And I also know that a lot of it comes from how uh how I critique folks too. And it's like I can't help it. I got a Virgo rising and a Scorpio moon. I see everything. Like the Virgo rising has the magnifying glass, but like the Scorpio moon has like the X-ray vision, like the the medical thing that's like really looking at like the molecules on the little test strip, like that's Scorpio. And so like I perceive everything like that. So I feel like, damn, if I notice, if I can record a video and notice, oh, this person, you can tell this person is like feeling insecure about this person shot a video right after getting their hair done and they don't know if their hair looks good or not. Like I could see it in their face and their energy. Like, so if I think like that, I'm thinking other people are thinking like that. And people do think like that, but it's just like the other day a content creator told me that it's not even about talent, it's about consistency. So um basically the people who show up are the ones that are rewarded. And like um it's really not about like getting it right. It's pretty much about showing up. So that's crazy. And I kind of do feel like a lot of that comes from my upbringing. Um, I I come from a family where we used to we used to do things to look as if. So for example, when we would go to the airport, my family would have me wear stockings and tights and stuff like that. Like that was like a rule. Like I always always wear pantyhose to go to the airport because if you're riding standby, you might somehow just like get a first class seat or whatever. And my family thought that like people who rode first class like looked a certain way. And so that's just a small example of uh, my family's narrative about how they do things. And I feel like I've said it before too. Like I come from a family of like no entrepreneurs and stuff like that. And so because Julia also talks about risk in this chapter too. So I also come from a family that didn't take risks. Um, so yeah, all that being said, um, as we go deeper into this week, just really paying attention to that type of stuff. Um, Again, week 7 is really, really short. It's like a short read. Um, but if we are going up the chakras, we've reached the crown chakra. So recovering a sense of connection, excuse me, is found in the crown. Um, and I'll read this part too. It says, we turn this week to the practice of right attitudes for creativity. The emphasis is on your receptive as well as your active skills. The essays, exercises, and tasks aim at excavating the genuine creative interest as you connect with your personal dreams. So that's perfectionism.
Can I just
So
say that I just made a flower essence blend for myself using my pendulum, and crabapple came into it. And now I say that is perfectionism, week 7. So it's a theme. I didn't even see
oh,
it. I didn't look at ahead yet.
oh, that is so that is so on point. That's for real on point. Um, so did you have like a actual crabapple flower?
It's in part of the practitioner kit in EG2.
Oh, gotcha,
It's
gotcha.
crabapple, and it's for perfectionism.
Oh,
So it's
yes,
funny
cool.
that I got that in my blend, and I was like, oh, interesting. And then now I see that's part of the theme this week.
Oh my gosh, yes. Kyra, I feel like you have crabapple flower essence in your cabinet.
I do.
Okay. Yes, y'all send me some crabapple energy. Speaking of flower essences, I have been uh I've been in my fairy lantern energy, or actually just paying attention to my fairy lantern energy. Basically that part of me that still feels like a little child, that part of me that is having difficulty growing up, um because some people probably like in my family unit see me as a child, um but since working with fairy lantern, um some things that have been coming up for me, basically I've been getting like memories resurfacing reminding me you've already been a teenager, like you've already been a child, like you've already been a teenager. um So yeah, I wanted to share that with you guys because I feel like that's been like a vulnerable spot for me. So yeah, I'm working through my fairy lantern energy. Does anybody else want to share anything before we close out? I feel like this conversation was so good about social media, and I'm so glad that I got to talk to you guys about it because literally all leading up um, to this call, I was just scrolling and just observing. I was like, I just don't like the what social media has become. Okay, I'm gonna mute for Lucy.
It was just a quick one. I was gonna ask if you wanted me to pull the group a card from the Ramanizer deck. So like the artist,
Yes.
I have him as a card deck, but I wanted to like make sure everyone was okay with that before I like went ahead and did it. And if you're not
Yes.
okay with that, please let me know. Um, okay, cool.
No, I think this group is so perfect. I know a lot of people have fallen off, but it's like they probably fell off because they can't hang.
You can't
But yeah, I
handle it.
think
I'll post the picture of like whatever card I pull, and I'll probably put it in the group chat just so you guys can like see it better because it's like awkward to hold up to the camera. But I'll do that.
okay.
That was all I wanted to ask and say.
And Ariel, I know I owe you a reading too. I told you I was gonna look at my calendar and I never pulled it up, but
I mean, you could just pull a card. Maybe pull a card for the group too if you want.
okay, let me go potty.
I
Um
love
I
getting
just
group
had
right.
I'm sorry, side note. I gotta say this because I was just like, what the hell? I just ate this. And tell me why the date on this says
I can't see
Oc-
you.
October 19th, 2025.
what
This
did
Uh-oh.
shit
you
is
eat?
old. And I was thinking, oh, it tastes interesting. I didn't look at it once. Look at this.
What is that?
Is
This
it
is a
chocolate?
little only bar. This is a little good. I like what the hell? I all right.
That's really funny.
Okay, I'm gonna use the bathroom. Go ahead and pull, Lucy. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, I'll be right back.
Three
I
came out. I'm gonna post. I'll post pictures.
I have to jump 5 minutes early to get to an in-person class. I'll do my best to figure out the WhatsApp thing. It's a little complex on my end, but that way I can see what the cards were in between.
Okay, cool.
Bye,
Bye,
Meadow.
Meadow.
Bye. Thanks for letting me be so talkative.
You're fine. Talk more. It makes me sound like I talk loud. Bye, Meadow.
Bye.
That really stressed me out. Like I'm so stressed out about that. Like, and I don't know. I'm so hungry. So I'm like, oh, you need to eat something. My head is hurting. So I'm like, eat something. And I'm eating on some. I'm just like, are you kidding me? I'll be back.
Okay, what card came up?
There was three. I've posted them in the group chat. I think the
Oh,
third one was my favorite. Yeah, I posted them on WhatsApp so you can see them better. I
oh,
don't know. I feel like some of these are gonna resonate with other people. I feel like I know which one resonates with me. Um, but the first one is says relax. It's just the loading screen. I've posted the picture of it in WhatsApp.
oh my God, this is too real.
I kind
This
of like that. Yeah.
is way
It's funny,
too
this
real.
morning I pulled a card from my herbal astrology deck, and the one I got was stillness. like a skull cap. I feel like it's the same. It's
Yeah.
like tarot, like the hangman.
Yeah, that's kind of what I get from that. It's
Wow.
just like, it's okay. Like just relax. The second one was too many
So
ideas.
funny.
Oh, that last one is what got me cracking up. I feel like I think the last one I can take that one. Yeah, the second one is too many ideas is the same as no idea. I don't know if that's like for someone in particular, like like slimming down your ideas so that they can happen or something.
Yeah, yeah.
But yeah, the
It's
third
so
one is so
funny.
so stupid. It sounds interesting, and how you know that's how you want to how you know that's what you want
That's
exactly.
what you want exactly. I feel like I said that the other day. I think I said it to Kyra. I was like talking about Abraham Hicks, like, thank God for the time delay because that gives you time to decide if that's what you really want. Half the time you don't even want the thing. Oh
Mm.
wow. But yeah, these are so good. Okay. So I can pull a card too. What deck do we want? We got the Garden Dragons deck. We have the Mystical Journey deck. We have the Osset Egyptian Oracle. We have the Lakshmi Egyptian Oracle. No, I'm sorry. We have the Lakshmi Hindu Oracle, and then we have the Oracle of the Roses. Um, the Oracle of the Roses is like archetype driven. Like for example, you pull a card that says the loner, the seeker, the rebel.
Mm.
The garden dragon deck is kind of similar.
My
It'll
vote
be
is for your gut. Whatever your gut
That's what I was gonna
says.
say.
Yeah, like
Just
whatever your gut
intuitively pull a
says.
card.
Hmm.
okay, okay, okay. Lucy.
I hope Kyrie. Is it Kyria? Am I saying that right? Am I dumb?
It's Kyra. I'm
Kyra.
okay.
Okay. I'm
I'm
like,
just
how's your gut doing, honey?
I just made a little GSC, some
Oh,
grapefruit
okay.
seed extract, and took some apple cider vinegar. I don't know. That's crazy. They're dead ass wrong for even having it on the shelves. Like,
Wait,
Oh,
you
you
bought that
bought
from?
it? Oh,
Oh, like that
yes.
wasn't in your shelf for like
No,
two.
I just bought that like
Was it
Oh.
last
chocolate?
week or so.
Oh, I'd
That's
be
why I'm
bringing
like,
that box.
"Really?"
Man, we're like, excuse me.
That's why it's not like, oh, I just went and grabbed something and it's from last.
Yeah.
I
Oh,
just
that's kind of what I
bought
thought.
it. And then
What
I'm
was
just
it?
like so many it's a granola bar.
Oh, granola bar.
This like a little plant-based granola bar thing. But I'm just like, wow. And I was sitting there thinking, this tastes different. I didn't look down once until I looked down.
I mean, you wouldn't
So
if you just bought it
annoyed.
from the store the other day.
I'm
Like,
like, oh, it's
uh,
fine, whatever. That's so
yeah.
ugly. Ugh. I'm like
the deck.
this to the what's the names?
The
The
card didn't
Portuguese
get
support
Tiana.
God.
The deck that I'm gonna do is this one, the Aset Egyptian Oracle, and the card at the bottom of the deck is Ma'at, Cosmic Justice. And I'm looking at the ones that you sent, Lucy, and totally feel like the too many ideas is the same as no idea. I feel like that's for me. Um, Gemini Midheaven, also Gemini South Node too. So, which is challenging. It's challenging having your South Node the same as your Midheaven. But yeah, I feel like I'm trying to do everything and be everything for everybody. Okay, so I'm gonna pull three cards, just to match the energy of those three cards, which were amazing. So for this first card, I'm gonna count to seven. One, two, three, four, five, six, seven. So we have Imhotep Temple Healing. So I'll take a picture of it. And from what I know about Egyptian cosmology, Imhotep is he was like the greatest he was like the greatest medicine person. Like he was human, but he was so great at medicine that he became deified. All right, the next one, I'm gonna count to three. One, two, three. We have Giza Plateau. So that one says Sacred Journey. I'm gonna take a picture of that one too. All right, and I'm gonna pull one more for us. And we got Mother Newt. On here it says Nuit. Um, she is the goddess of stars and timing. And this is really interesting because whenever we're doing our energy work and we're pulling down cosmic energy, Newt comes to mind. And I just imagine like her body filled with like the stars and the cosmos. I just feel like her body coming into me or over me, like how she's like hovered over. Um, she's kind of like hovered over like in a downward dog type of way. But yeah, Mother Newt comes to mind when we're doing that part of our energy work. But yeah, out of all the three cards, I feel like that one was super helpful because it has to do with timing, which seems to relate to the first card that you picked, Lucy, the loading screen. Um, so let me add these to the chat. And then I can quickly read what the meanings mean. So Imhotep is number 17. Imhotep is the god of healing and medicine, a great sage who was originally human and known as a skilled physician, healer, and architect, later deified 2,000 years after his death. Imhotep was the architect of the sound and sleep healing temple of Saqqara, where many people later came to worship at his tomb in search of healing. Let's see. I'll also post the descriptions in there for y'all. Let's see. So I'm going to stick to the meanings that are like pertaining to this book circle, and I feel like abundance is relevant because we just went off of week 6. It says finances improve if you devote time to the study of healing, hypnosis, alchemy, or seek it as treatment. And then work and career, I feel is relevant. It says seek to study first or again to find a suitable career. Promotion is possible. Seek to study first or again to, I don't get what that means. Seek to study first or again to find a suitable career. Promotion is possible.
Was that the first card or the second card?
That is the first card,
Okay.
Imhotep.
Okay.
Yes. Okay, so the next one is Giza Plateau, which is number 11 in the deck. It says first built on about 50,000 years ago, the Giza Plateau is a place of mystery and illusion with many underground passageways connecting to the Sphinx and the Great Pyramid. This was a training and initiation complex that still exists on a divine level. Most cannot see past the physical structures and are unaware that the fate of the world actually depends on the Great Pyramid, for there is much hidden wisdom and alchemical knowledge hidden within her. So the abundance meaning for this card is money may be slow coming, but will magically appear at the right time, especially if your purpose is to do with spiritual travel to any sacred location. Hmm, that sounds like that sounds etheric gardening related. Work and career. Work that is aligned with your interests and values may be hard to find. The need to follow the path that calls you best followed, and with time will be successful. I feel like that's what we talked about. Um, the need to follow the path that calls you is best followed. Okay, so basically follow the path that best calls you. With time, it'll be successful.
Sounds
Absolutely.
like literally what was discussed.
Yeah, basically, yes. Oh, and then Kyra said these cards sort of mirror each other, but in reverse.
Yeah, so like the last card would be the first card. The middle card is the middle card because the shape of like pyramid and kind of like the little shape in the middle one. And then
Yeah.
last one would be the first one would be the last one. And
Yeah, it's low key as if Imhotep is the one saying, and how do you know that's what you want
exactly.
exactly?
Yeah, it's just like an individual person. Just like, yeah, it's
I
represented.
love that. I love that. Okay, so Mother Newt is our final card. The stars and timing. Nut is the primal mother goddess whose body is the arching star-flecked sky. She was separated from her husband, earth god Geb, so humans could live on Earth. Her father, the sun god Ra, forbade her to give birth to her five children, Auset, Osiris, Nephthys, Horus, and Set, but Tahuti gambled with the moon god Khonsu for 5 extra days so this could occur. Newt symbolizes separations and delays, but eventual success by divine intervention. So for the abundance, meaning watch out for unexpected bills and take care with investments. Money owing to you may be delayed. Personally, I don't like card interpretations like that. I don't like that. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, that wasn't very good. That
Yeah,
wasn't like a
I
good
don't
message, so
like,
I don't like that
yeah, I don't
one. I don't
like for
claim.
me, whenever I pull cards from these decks, like they usually relate to the cards that are around them and they connect the dots in that way. But when it comes to like the individual meanings, I'm just like, that's just so. Sometimes I feel like a lot of these authors, sometimes I feel like these authors, sometimes they try to sound like fortune tellers, like
Yeah, and like you got to think of like the context in which like you pulled it in as well, because I think
yeah,
like the original message of like what is it like stars and timing is like
yeah.
really really sweet compared to oh money is delayed. Like
Oh,
okay.
but wait, Ariel said it relates to the social media theme. Ooh,
Mm.
can you expand?
Because the whole time we're talking about how like often how like people can tell when you're trying to be something else, you know? And then you're
Oh,
saying like that's what you don't like when the card writers do that.
oh, yeah. And it's even in here, yeah. Because you can just tell. It's just like, girl, what?
Yeah, it's like that's what they think they should be doing, so they're doing it, you know? And you're like
Yeah.
reading and you're like, okay, sounds wrong.
Yeah. It just sounds so like, ooh, a fortune teller. But yeah, damn. And then the work and career part, it says patience and a good sense of humor is required for now until present astrological and numerological influences pass. So I can feel into that. I can feel into that. And other times that I have pulled Mother Newt, um, that has been a strong theme. I do feel one of the themes that uh this card, the timing of this card may be referring to is the current full moon that we're in. And I do feel like Mercury retrograde is approaching us. So,
I,
um,
my audio just like blacked out for a sec. Could you repeat that?
yeah, I was saying I do feel like when with the description of work and career saying that wait for present astrological and numerological influences the past, I definitely think that that's referring to the full moon that we're in right now. And also I feel like Mercury retrograde is about to come too. Um,
That's so
yeah.
fair. I feel like I've like married your cards like one, two, and three to my one, two, and three. Maybe it's like in my own little way, but the advice I'm kind of like getting from this is like maybe this is like the process of like my creative thing is like right now, like relax. You're still in the loading screen, like take time to like keep healing because I know I'm healing from like burnout and like healing from all the other shit of like why I don't think I can be creative and all that stuff and studying and learning, like keep learning more about what interests me. And then the second thing of like the too many ideas and the no ideas. I think the card that you pulled was saying it's like following what calls you, and you feel like that's like continuing to like slim down those ideas and listening to what really calls me out of it. And then the third one of having like a good sense of humor and stars and timing. I was thinking of like, oh, you know, like letting things unfold rather than getting a really fixed idea of what things are gonna look like. Um and keep letting it kind of evolve. And I also had like a mini, you know, when you kind of get like a download and it's like, how do I get that into like words? Something came in when you were like making fun of the card and we're bringing in like the social media thing. It's like, although this one, the person who's made the deck, like their description of it has kind of like waffled on and maybe tried to become something for other people, the message itself and the card itself can still you can still derive like juiciness from it that might not have even been intended, which like makes me think of that, like how do you know that's even exactly what you want? Like sometimes we can't even plan or try and control so much like the impact, because like that's kind of what she tried to do right in that third card in her thing. She's like trying to, woo, I'm trying to make it be this thing, and actually like and like try and like slim and cultivate the impact that message will have when actually I
Mm.
can just take the stars and timing and like really
Yeah.
connect into like something that's meaningful for me from it. Um
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, that's why. Yeah, I feel like I said that the way it kind of came in a bit. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely that lands. Yeah, Kyra was saying that these cards are kind of like reversal. So like Imhotep is intercession. Um Giza Plateau is sacred journey. No, I'm sorry. Too many ideas is the same as no idea. I can see that. And then the third one, stars and timing, is definitely relax. It's still just the loading screen. And if you zoom into the loading screen, it's like literally the galaxy and stuff like that. Um, I love that. I love that. I definitely have resistance to the too many ideas. It's the same as no idea, because that man, man, that's like
It's like
I feel like,
sorry.
oh,
It's
go
like when
ahead.
people say, and it kind of irritates me because I've been playing Sims recently. And they're like, if I try to get the Sim who's already practicing horseback riding or whatever to, cook, they be like, Jack of all trades, uh,
Master of
master
none.
of none. And I'm like, please, like,
Yeah.
I
don't be
think I
like,
like
don't,
the image.
don't
I feel like the image of the, because I don't think I'd like the saying if I was just told the saying of like, yeah, too many ideas better than none.
right.
But
But
I
it
kind
makes
of like
sense
the
though.
imagery of like shoving it in, because I've definitely been there where I like end up procrastinating and not getting doing anything because I've got like too many ideas and I'm like, oh, how does this thing mix with this thing and mix with that thing and mix with that thing? So like
Yeah.
I can like
Mhm.
see it, but if somebody just told me that without a funny picture, I'd be like, shut up.
Whatever.
Whatever.
Didn't you share on one of his like carousels or dumps he had like another picture that was kind of similar to that, but it was the same thing of like, oh, trying to do nothing or like and then trying to do everything or every that it was a picture like
Yeah.
that. And it's like exactly if you're trying to do all of this it's
Yeah.
like you're not gonna do any of it. And then Julia said that before too, but I know how that feels because I have that for sure. But I think it's just like you can always put these things on ice. Like, why are you in a rush to do it all right?
Right.
Like, there's people who've been planning to execute something, and it's like it goes to that. Are you even sure that's what you want? Because maybe you still want to do it, but maybe you want to do it like that. And if you just put it on ice and give it time, then when you do it, it's gonna be exactly what you wanted. So putting it over there, letting it,
Gotta let
brew,
it cook.
and
Yeah.
then coming back to it once you're like with freshness, with more resources, with more skill with more trial and error under your belt like you can give that its proper thing you know and sometimes that's a way to look at it. I feel like that is one way to look at it and I've been trying to look at it like that for myself because I'm like I mean like people have concepts for their projects for music. Like Gaga didn't try to do Jolene when she was doing Monster. Maybe she didn't even know she wanted to do that.
Joanne.
Joanne, I say Joanne.
Jolene.
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 Jolene, Jolene. But maybe she didn't know she wanted to do that, but maybe she knew she wanted to do Chromatica, but it didn't happen until it happened, like maybe she needed to do more stuff. So it's just like little stuff like that. Like it just comes at the right time. So feel like whatever is like whatever is speaking to you currently is just like just get on that and then when you're in the flow you can keep it going. It's like that you're in the zone like so that momentum is like you're in the zone so you're like oh I knew I wanted to do that okay got it and then the synchronicities like I do feel like God supports us like that the creativity like that so yeah.
Mhm.
Can I add to that? Um, I love this idea, and I feel like it's been coming up for me too because I think sometimes too for me, like if I'm trying to, let's say, step into a new timeline, it's like I want to like have some action that's like proving that I'm gonna do it. You know what I mean? So it's like, for example,
Mhm.
my summer project is like to make my home really like homey. So I feel like I'm like trying to push myself before it necessarily it's all ready to like make action to then show myself that I'm going to actually do it instead of just trusting the timing of like, yeah, it's both like prioritization and then also in like coming into current time of like, where are you right now? Like I literally was like sick and then like a little bit better and then I was sick again. I was doing a lot of trauma healing and like all this stuff. So it's like, what do I have capacity for prioritizing like this month or like this week, And like,
Mhm.
and what feels like if it's, sorry, that's my instant pop. Like what feels like what feels embodied of like what would feed me now instead of being like, oh, I need to like show my like I need to control things and like start this, have this project going, And like, yeah, I think there's that of like knowing that our intentions and like everything's gonna happen at the time it's supposed to. And then something else I want to say is one other person about artistic like and creative stuff influencer that I really like. Her name's Kitty Noor. And
Oh, I've heard that name.
yeah, I really like her stuff. I'll write it here. I love like because she like brings spirituality into it too. But one thing that she talks about is even like project planning per quarter, or like having not project planning, but having like the creative and what she's emphasizing creatively like each quarter. So it's like, okay, maybe she does DJing and she does poetry. So maybe she like wants to get better at DJing, but she knows she can't do everything at this moment. So she might like plan to do it over the summer and then like plan something else for the fall. What?
She has really good takes
I've seen
on
her.
TikTok.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
I
said that. I've
really like
seen her.
her
Yeah,
She
stuff.
gets it. She
yeah,
gets
she
it.
definitely
Yeah.
gets it.
So that's my 2 cents of like letting ourselves, because that's also the point of it creative. It's like creative flow, you know? So it has to be a flow.
And
Well,
then,
as
like
y'all,
Lucy was saying earlier, it's like coming into like and that's the beginner's mind and like the beginning, like all that, like to be a beginner, even the tarot of like the fool, like you gotta get out there and get foolish and look silly and find your way because it just is like coming out polished is not
Yeah.
the most
The
realistic.
coming out polish thing reminds me of like, it's like three kids in a trench coat kind of thing. Like it's like
yes, they're
ridiculous.
standing on top
Yeah.
of each
Yeah, they're like
other.
standing at each other, but they're like trying to like be like, oh yes,
It's giving
I'm an
industry
adult.
plant at that
Hmm.
point. So yeah, you don't want to come out like that. Like you just, I don't know, but I guess it's like that feeling, like how you said, of that critical thought, that critic, and then that hyper surveillance, like knowing that you have eyes on you, so you know people are gonna see you looking afraid, or you can sense that. But it's like that's also real. Like it is
Hmm.
real. You are afraid because you care about what you're doing. You do feel nervous. You might feel insecure. Like all of this, I feel like I'm echoing it, like saying it, and everybody's saying it. And it's just like, oh, yeah, it's coming right back because, like, I need to hear that too. And it's like, yeah, it's like, it's okay to be a real person, to be alive, to have feelings, to like, but it can feel odd trying to have all of that in a world like the internet that's not necessarily real or whatever. Or people
Mm,
aren't operating in a real
Yeah.
way in these
mhm,
spaces. But it's just like if this is the saying the real thing and people want the real thing, it doesn't get any more realer than seeing that I'm kind of nervous.
Yeah.
And you know what
mhm,
nervousness is. So it's like, don't even cap on that other side. Like, you don't know what it feels like to be nervous, to be
mm,
trying at something new, because
mhm,
everybody has had that or would have that at some point in their lives. And
Yeah.
real. Like that's the realest thing ever, you know?
Yeah. It's,
mhm,
social
So
media has a bit of grace too, where it's like it's not gonna push your like fresh out the womb content to like